Well, hi. This is the Lone Stranger again, coming to you after quite a while. Can't remember when the last visit was, but wow. I had a revelation just within the last less than half an hour. And I thought, wow, better try to share this because, of course, it's going to float away. Other things will come up and I'll forget it or won't record it. So I want to share it. So here it is. Here's a fundamental situation. One, most proximally, recently, within the last day, actually, earlier today, I started watching a program organized by Jordan Peterson on Exodus. And there's a whole group of scholars, I guess you could call them, who are together there talking about the book of Exodus. And one part of it was they were talking about, the Nuremberg trials and how there was a dilemma. How do you establish or decide that somebody's guilty if you don't have a standard, an ultimate final standard? That was, of course, a big dilemma for the Nuremberg trials. And of course, as human beings, we often face that: what's right, what's wrong, what standard do we live by? And they recounted, one of the members of the panel, of the group, recounted the experience of W.H. Auden, who was an atheist. And until he, I guess, in a newsreel saw pictures or video, or newsreel film of Nazi soldiers bayoneting to death women and children in the invasion of Poland. And so he went away from that, stepped out of there, and said, well, hey, how can I say this is evil if I don't have a standard of right and wrong? And it led me to think about a friend I have, and this friend has a son, and this son, at one point, in about high school age, this son just totally rejected faith in Christianity, trust in the Bible, belief in Jesus, all that, pretty much rejected it. And as I was doing some exercise trying to process all these thoughts, I was trying to think, well, I wonder what event happened in this young man's life as a high school student that suddenly would flip him over from being a believer, I guess you could say, to being an absolute, atheist, non-believer, or absolute, how do I know, but at least according to some things that young man has said and all of that. And so I started thinking about all of that, what was going on in this video that I was watching with Jordan Peterson about the book of Exodus. And so I thought, I wonder what happened in the life of that young man, like that experience W.H. Auden had with deciding, well, wait a minute, I have to have a standard of believing in some ultimate right and wrong, something right, because clearly this was wrong. I started thinking about what happened in that young man's life. And here's what I've come up with. Not sure of it, but I think it could have been rejection of some sort or another. Okay? And I think that what that comes down to is something that several years ago I decided for myself is I'd much rather say that my sons, for example, I have two, and I guess it would be common parlance to say I love them dearly. But one time my younger son said, well, Dad, why do you think that you did what you did for us when we were growing up? I didn't want to use the term love, and the word significance came to me. And I answered my younger son, I was saying, you never were insignificant. And so maybe this young man, the son of this friend of mine, maybe something happened, in his life that made him feel rejected by religion, by the church, by God, by other Christians, since that was the type of school he was in. I don't know. But it's just a theory, a rejection. And then I thought, wow, that makes sense, because this young man has also labored furiously to establish himself in a business of his own. And I thought, well, I guess that could be justified, but he's just radically, I don't know, it seems to me like he prefers suffering on his own than working for a company. And I wonder if that young man might have had some experience of rejection from some companies that he really wanted to work for, and has just decided that to be significant, he is going to have to create his own significance that doesn't depend on an organization like the church or some other organization, a company. So I am reflecting now on this word significance, and these reflections have helped me a lot, because what I realize is that it is possible to have several beings, several humans, or other beings, animals perhaps, at an equivalent level of significance, but that many other things that are important would be less significant than those individuals. Or I guess I'm not sure we can make a distinction between important and significant, but in the sense that if you think of a profession, of what a mom does, of what a dad does, as being important and significant to allow them to support their children, to provide shelter, provide clothing, provide food, things that for most of us don't come free and require work, and that babies can't really earn on their own. So there's a period of time when, although there are many important things in the lives of a dad and a mom, or any kids that are, any people rather, who are raising kids, those important and significant things are instrumentally important, instrumentally significant, instrumentally in the interest of the things that are ultimately significant and important in the lives of the mom and the dad. So what if, at some point, that young man had some experience that would make him feel less significant in the eyes of one parent or another, let's say the father perhaps, that he was less significant or less important or a lower priority than the things that were actually supposed to be instrumental, like a profession, like a job. Well, that's pretty much where I've landed with my musings for now, is that significance is really an important concept, and a hierarchy of significance is really an important concept, is really an important thing to be established for each one of us. Okay? What things are important and significant in our lives that are instrumentally significant and important, and instrumentally significant and important for what or for whom? For a person, for a greater purpose. And I think that idea of significance is pretty good, because you don't have to have a top of the pyramid. Several different people could be at the same level of significance. For me, for example, for you, okay? But it's important to distinguish that higher level of significance from the lower levels of significance, where the significant things are instrumentally significant for serving the higher significance of a belief, a concept, a purpose, a person. A purpose other than satisfying our own desires, obviously. Or maybe that's not obvious. But in any event, that's about it from The Lone Stranger for today. And I hope there's been something worthwhile for you. If nothing else, I sure recommend that video that is out on YouTube now for free, from Jordan Peterson, dealing with the second book of the Bible, Exodus. Well, anyhow, that's my comments for right now, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And so, hi ho, silver, away!